You're watching WRBL News 3. First Alert meteorologist Cody Nickel with a severe weather update. We are tracking a tornado that is moving into parts of Macon County here, and this has prompted a tornado warning for Macon County, including the areas of Shorter, up across parts of Tuskegee, and then lifting up here, not all the way to Notasulga, but this is going to be moving more towards parts of western Lee County within the next probably 30 minutes or so. But we've been watching this system as it's pushed just south of Montgomery here, and that's prompted this tornado warning out across parts of Macon County, and it is just moving from Montgomery County into Macon County now, just south of the Shorter area. And if we could get a little bit closer to this, Brian, that would be perfect. And then you could see right there just south of Interstate 85 as it's approaching parts of Macon County. So this is the Shorter exit here, Victory Land, those areas right there along the interstate. And let's see what the winds are looking like within the storm as well. We'll find out where that storm is rotating right there. You can see where those greens meet the red. Now, it was observed earlier, probably about 20-30 minutes ago as it was moving across parts of Montgomery County, but overall it is just radar indicated at the moment, and this goes until 1:45 Central Time. So we got about 30 minutes left, but this will likely be extended if it continues on that northerly track, moving just south of Shorter. Here's Highway 80 moving through parts of Macon County, and then eventually making its way into parts of Tuskegee, and then if it continues to move off towards the north, making its way into Lee County. But the whole part of East Alabama is under a severe thunderstorm warning because of this line that continues to move in. So this is been a very strong storm system across parts of Mississippi, parts of Alabama, and now we're starting to see it getting a little bit more, a little act together here across parts of our region. But overall, as we go throughout the next couple of hours, we're going to be seeing this line move into our region and bringing in some strong gusty winds. So we do have that severe thunderstorm warning for Bullock, Macon, parts of Tallapoosa County, all the way through, let's get a time on that, all the way in the next 40 minutes or so. So the whole line does have a severe thunderstorm warning on it, but it's this kink right here that has prompted that tornado warning as it's moving off towards the northeast here. So Tuskegee, areas of western Lee County, potentially Auburn, not quite Beauregard yet, but you are under that tornado watch, and really the whole area is under a tornado watch, including our Georgia counties through 9 o'clock. But overall, you can see the track is more off towards the northeast here, around 45 miles per hour. It's kind of sped up a little bit because our earlier indications was about 3 o'clock. So it's about an hour earlier than what we've seen over the past or day or so with the timing. So we were kind of spot on, right on with it, but overall right there for Macon County. So this is just an early heads up for areas around Lee County. Most of Russell County will probably just get the straight line wind of this southern segment here as it continues to push off towards the east. Anything coming over the National Weather Service chat, Brian? Have you looked at anything?
They said that there was two circulations. They actually trying to merge over Macon County. So there's something they're definitely watching very, very closely.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, this is what we're watching. This has prompted that tornado warning, 145. Just hail is really negligible here, probably nothing in terms of hail. Radar indicated, but it was confirmed over Macon County, so we'll continue to watch for debris and as that circulation kind of merges from those two. So let's see, there is one. Yes. Oh, okay. I see what they're talking about. Flip it over to velocity for me and get a little bit closer. We'll dissect this across parts of Macon County. These are very small circulations if our radar can do it. One is like right here, right along the Interstate 85, and then the other is right here just south of Shorter. So there's two circulations. One, potentially maybe even three. Just zoom right on into that storm. So yeah, south of Shorter is probably the strongest one here, and then the other one right there along the interstate, and then I would even say there's a third one back here. So yeah, definitely getting some very turbulent winds out of this storm, and If you're in southern Tallapoosa County, even over here towards Elmore, this may be lifting more up towards you guys down there towards Tallahassee, and actually the radar site's right there. So we're actually getting a good scan, a lot of low-level winds here associated with that storm. So yeah, that is definitely tight, definitely going to be watching it, but nothing observed within the storm right now, and we'll continue to see if that continues to tighten, which it possibly might, especially that one south is shorter. So this is what we call, this is really what a rotating comma head, and it's kind of just turned into a multiple circulation event, and you can see how it's kind of just, it's like a fluid in the atmosphere, and that's why it's just doing all these weird circulations. So zoom right on into shorter for me, Brian. Very close. Let's go street level. That's right like there between shorter and good wind. So you saw those two kind of merge into one. So this is definitely going to be a stronger circulation. Moving up here towards Alabama 229, the southern part of Tallapoosa County, and then the Hornaday area of right there just along the Macon-Elmore County line. That community there, especially along Interstate 85. This is probably right there around Victory Land as it's moving more off towards the northeast. So this may be more of a Goodwin problem, a Hornaday problem, and then especially areas up here in Tallapoosa County and areas along Alabama 49, just north of the interstate across parts of Macon County.
Yeah, and in fact, National Weather Service out of Birmingham just kind of confirmed what you were just talking about. Another circulation near Victory Land. It definitely looks like it's actually tightening up a little bit. Those reds are getting brighter. Those greens are getting brighter. They're getting closer together. So definitely something that we're going to have to keep a very, very close eye on as it continues to move off to the north and northeast. The whole line is moving eastward, but the individual cells look like they're moving in a northeast clip. So got to keep that in mind too. Makes its way eastward, so keep that in mind. But again, this is definitely going to be worth watching very, very closely, especially with the colors getting brighter and getting closer together. That's a good indication of some very tight circulation, and something we'll be looking forward to next is to see if there's any CC. That's an indication of debris, and that is also an indication of a tornado on the ground as well.
Yeah, and I think we actually have one here. If you could flip it over to our debris detector, I think there is something here on the ground, not as bright as what I saw on the off-camera product, but definitely, potentially probably going observed, and yep, right there, a confirmed tornado. This is in Macon County. So this is our second confirmed tornado. This is the first one we're covering. It was confirmed earlier across parts of Montgomery County, just south of the city there. But so this debris detector is what we call correlation coefficient. The radar has the technology where it can pinpoint something other than a hydrometeor, other than liquid rain. So definitely got probably some debris from maybe even some structures or even some trees or maybe even some leaves with this as it's picked it up. So definitely it's lofted it high enough to get that return, to get a confirmed tornado on the ground. So we definitely have debris here, and you see it just right after, let's see.
It is last two scans.
Yeah, after it passed Highway 80 is really when it picked up. I wonder if we have two or if that's just going to be one. I think it's just the bottom one actually is. Go back to the velocity. I got my hand on it right here. See if it correlates with it.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it's the circulation is actually very broad. Nothing really gate to gate or tight here. But the two circulations really probably merged into one. That's what we got, that tightening effect, and that's lifting off towards the northeast here. So Macon County, if you know anybody down here towards the shorter area, the Goodwin area, Hornaday area, give them a call, say, hey, you got a tornado on the ground near Victory Land, moving off towards the northeast. And overall, let's see, it actually, let's see, pick it up here. So yeah, it's probably going to go more up here towards Tallahassee. instead of probably Notasoga. But the whole line, like you said, Brian, is moving off towards the east, which will be a bigger problem with those very strong gusty winds, 60, 70 miles per hour. But this is going to be probably a little bit stronger than that, as we've seen that debris already depicted right there on the radar. So near the shorter area, approaching the Elmore County line. I don't know if they'll add some of those counties with another tornado warning or not, but definitely going to be riding right there along the county line right there. So we do have a confirmed tornado, and what you need to do in a tornado warning. One, you need to seek the lowest level possible if you have a two-story home. If you have a single level home, you want to get into an interior hallway, a bathroom, and just get away from those outside walls. Put as many walls between you and the outside. Stay away from garages. You want maybe a bathroom where you got some of the walls reinforced with the piping there. That's definitely what you want to go to in the event you are under this tornado warning. And that's also good advice over here towards Alabama, Lee County, Russell County, even up around Chambers County as well. Any updates, Brian?
Let's see here. Just the last update with the radar confirmation. That's pretty much about it. But you know, this is a perfect example of when we always talk about you know, those nighttime, those nocturnal events. You know, to always have a way to get watches and warnings, because a lot of people are asleep at this time. So this is a perfect example of why you always want to have a way to get watches and warnings. You want to have multiple ways too, not just your cell phone, but also you can use the WRBL weather app as well. And it's always good too when you are programming your radios to always program them for counties that are maybe to your west and your southwest. That way you kind of get a heads up of things that might be coming in your particular direction. So just a couple of tips there when it comes to dealing with severe weather, especially down here in the south, because it does happen pretty often. And of course, this is a perfect example too of severe weather can happen any time of the year. I mean, we're getting ready to go into 2025, late part of December, and people think snow, but we also get severe weather this time of year too.
Yes, definitely. This is our severe weather season, Brian. Really started November all the way through 1st of May is really our severe weather season. So let's just go back into this system. You can see the values kind of brightening up a little bit. And let's go really tight with this, like street level. Let's get all the way into shorter. You can see, and probably if you could query some of these pixels too, we can gauge how strong these winds are coming up into areas of 85. And I believe, looking at the map, I believe that is Victory Land right there. So it's not quite hit the casino right there off the interstate. But Millstead community, the Goodwin community, Alabama 229. This is going to be north of the Calaby area, right there along Highway 80. So really right there over shorter, or between the shorter proper and the interstate is where we have that circulation, and we've also had that debris confirmed. You can see gusts up around 72 miles per hour on one end, 40 on the other, so somewhere in the ballpark of 100 mile per hour winds here across shorter Victory Land, the Interstate 85, Hornaday community, and then back up here towards northern parts of Macon County. So that's what we're watching with this observed tornado. You can see some areas right here, 58, 47. So strong tornado. Even though you don't have the pixels gate to gate, we are getting a good gauge of that circulation down at the surface with a brief touchdown with a confirmed tornado with the debris detector that we had. And it looks like it may have lifted based on our latest scans. Yeah, Brian's rocking it back and forth. So that's some good news. Maybe it has lifted or...
Back up here a little bit.
But we are getting a little close to the radar, which things could get a little bit messy. But we're looking right here. He'll drag it forward. That's what prompted it. Maybe something still right there as it moved, but nothing really deep. Like the debris is really, when it gets darker in these like whites and blues, that's when it's really strong debris. So we're not really seeing that right now. So maybe that's some good news. So it has lifted, but still you don't want to let your guard down, as we've seen this produce several tornadoes. And honestly, Yes. The old circulation
Almost.
is right here. I think we're getting a new circulation on the eastward side.
Let's see. I'm going to slow it
Like,
down a little bit here.
I think that's our old. I think we're getting some kind of new spin here on the south side of this warning, and we're very close to the radar. The radar's right here, so we may not have the best scans, even though, let's see. See, I think that's the old. I think we're getting some bad data here.
Yeah, it
but
looks
I
like
think
bad
there's
data.
I think there's a new circulation developing on the eastward side of this new storm, so that may be taking over. So we'll just continue to watch it here. We're going to get the radar is actually going to not help us with this as when it's so close, but we'll try to do our best. But we do have a confirmed tornado at the moment in Macon County, right there along Interstate 85. So put my hand right there. That's where we have the circulation. The latest data, there's something wrong with the latest data there, but it's right there. And I think we're getting something new here to develop. Go to the reflectivity mode.
Okay.
It's going to, see, I think that's something right there.
Yeah, that's we got to.
Yeah, put it in the rain mode.
Okay.
There's like two circulations here. Yeah. I think it's going to be right here on this flank right here and on this northern edge.
Right.
Yeah. So okay. So we had one here. That's probably occluded or got cut off and went to the north. That's why we didn't have the debris detected. And now we're starting to get a new circulation here on this little bow echo right here, just around. Let's just zoom in on this, the northern end of this line, if you will. So we do have a new tornado warning. New tornado warning does include parts of Lee County. So that is going to be coming out. This is Alabama 49. So areas right there around, actually Alabama 199. Is that the correct 199? Yeah, around the Cheehaw area. Notasulga, you guys are in this one. We're also getting some bad reflectivity data in this.
Yeah, they're saying
radar.
that there's kind of a potpourri of circulations just south of the radar near Franklin. They've got a new tornado warning coming.
Yeah, the new tornado warnings, already out. Let's give folks in Lee County who's in and who's out of this warning. Okay, so I can see it does not include Auburn, but over here towards the west, it does include Lochapoka, communities on the Macon side of Notasulga, and then Little Texas. You guys are not in that warning. Auburn, even though you're not in the warning, I would go ahead and already seek my tornado safe place over here for Auburn. Even I would already call out Opelika just because this is going to be heading your way, because like they said, this is very messy. This is we can't pinpoint any circulation right now. It is just every little thing, even every little notch here probably has some kind of circulation with it that potentially could produce a tornado, drop anything. So we'll do our best.
Yeah, two debris signatures very close to the radar, so that's probably why there was some bad data. A lot of times the closer you get to the radar, it can be a little sketchy just because of the way the beam shoots out. If you get the debris over the beam, it's not going to pick that up. So
yeah, that's good. Go back to, they went observed with this one now.
Yeah.
So we got two, or really just one. Go to debris.
Okay.
Okay, so that's one. I can't find the other. Maybe here, or maybe it's that. So there's two areas here.
Yeah, that's.
And then go to velocity. Let's see if we can detect it. No, maybe that one. I only see one. I can't pick out the other one.
Yeah.
But it's right here. This one's coming up close. It's actually embedded within the rain. Go to the rain. Yeah, it's right there. So yeah, it's
got to be that one you're pointing at.
Yeah, it's right here, this circulation. And be mindful, the radar is, what, right here? So yeah, we're super close. So we're getting some kind of contamination being so close.
Yeah.
So you like the being close to the radar in some instances, but this one's probably not our best. So definitely northern Macon County here, Notasulga, Lochapoka, heading to your way. You're also getting some showers. Look at that, lifting ahead of it too. So still some energy here. And then southern Tallapoosa County. I think Tallahassee, you're in the clear. This is going to be more a Notasulga area, Alabama 199 if you live on know anybody who live on that stretch, and then back through parts of this road that takes you through from Tuskegee back up to Notasulga. I don't have a highway number on that I could give you, but that is where you need to be taking your tornado precautions now, as it is I feel like it's kind of sped up a little bit, Brian. Yeah,
it does look like it looks like it's speed up a little bit. And if you, just a heads up too, if you do happen to lose power, whether it be from damaging winds or anything of that nature, you can tune your radio to Q107.3. They do have us live on that as well. So as a backup, make sure you tune into that and keep your television on. That way you can kind of keep track of things both ways. But again, this is it really looks like it's kind of tightening up a little bit. So this is definitely something that we got to watch very, very closely. And even though Auburn is not in this warning, we really suggest you guys probably go ahead and take cover. Go to your tornado safe place just to be on the safe side, because this thing is moving pretty quickly off to the northeast. Let me see if I can pull up the data here.
Yeah, if the guys in the back, if we could go to that Auburn shot, just to see if we could see anything getting lit up with okay, so I saw some lightning off there in the distance, but can't really see, oh, there was a good one, but you can't really see anything off in the distance,
yeah, it's moving northeast about 50 miles an hour, so it's moving pretty quick.
Yeah, so it's kind of sped up a little bit. So you can also see the lightning here on the radar. You saw it on the camera view there. So lightning is an indication of how strong a storm is. So we are starting to see that uptick in lightning, and you can kind of see that as it's already kind of produced some debris here across parts of Lee, Macon, counties, and then Lee County will eventually probably be next over here towards Lochapoka, probably the main area of concern across Lee County. Maybe, if we're lucky, maybe this will go north of Auburn, and you'll just get the straight line heavy rain on the south end of that. So this is going to be more towards Lochapoka. So if you're in western Lee County, go ahead and take your tornado precautions, lowest floor, interior hallway, bathroom, maybe even get some bike helmets if anything starts to, if you are hit, you don't want to impact your head. That's one thing you want to keep covered. And maybe just, throw in a mattress too or something just to protect the kiddos in the hallway. I always want to have a level of protection. So once this gets past the radar, we'll probably get a better view of circulation as it's right on top of the radar. So we're not really getting the best scans. We're getting a little attenuation from the rain. So it's right there in northern Macon County through 2 o'clock Central Time for Lee County and parts of northern Macon.
Only thing we're getting from Birmingham right now, they did upload a picture of what you were pointing at was the actual circulation that they were referring to. So that was just to confirm that. But again, tornado warning in effect for Lee, Macon, Tallapoosa County. This is for an observed tornado until 2 o'clock Central Standard Time. So if you live in places like Lochapoka, Notasulga, you want to make sure you're in your safe place. Auburn, you're not in this warning, but it is right on the east side of that warning. So make sure that you go to your safe place just to be on the safe side, because this is a warning that has has gone from one county to another. So it's not exactly falling apart. It's not your typical spin-up tornado, which is a lot of what we see with these linear segments as they come through. You get these quick spin-up tornadoes, but this one doesn't appear to be that type of tornado. So definitely one that we're going to be watching not only now, but in the near future as well, as it continues to move off to the lines moving to the east, this individual storm moving off to the northeast. And it's moving pretty quick, Cody, 50 miles per hour.
Yeah, 50 miles per hour. That is, that's a good clip for a storm, because you got to account for storms, don't have to stop at red lights, don't have to stop at stop signs, so hopefully nobody's out on the roadway. I know there's probably some traffic here on the interstate, so hopefully they got the warning there, but we are watching. It's right here close to the radar, our circulation that we're watching. That's why we have that observed tornado, more so right there around Alabama 199, moving up into parts of northern Macon County here. You can see it's past Alabama 49, and then once it gets over towards Lochapoka, I believe that's Alabama 14, that runs through Notasulga and Lochapoka back into parts of Auburn. So we're watching that as well. So Interstate 85, really all the way from the Auburn exits down into Macon County, probably just need to stop and go into some kind of convenience store to just avoid the rain, because even we've got a lot of heavy rainfall, so you're not really going to be seeing anything if you are out in this weather, because plus it's also nighttime, Brian.
Yeah. It's you know, there's a lot. Most folks are at home, so hopefully they've got those watches and they got those warnings, and they were able to take cover, go to their safe place. But for the folks that are on the road, this is one of those deals. This is something a lot of people. You've seen pictures of people parking under underpasses and things like that. Those are probably some of the worst places that you can go, because you get that tunnel effect and winds actually increase if the tornado were to go over an overpass. So you want to make sure that you take safety in a store or convenience store or something like that. Of course, a lot of times this time of the night, about the only thing open is a gas station. So find a gas station somewhere, pull over, and go to a safe place until this big line passes through.
Yes, good advice. Okay, go to reflectivity and let's track the line from the leading edge all the way into parts of Auburn.
Let's see.
So we can give Auburn a little heads up on about what time will the rain come, because when you have this very stark contrast of greens, yellow, reds, or really yellow, orange, red, that is some very strong winds. So associated, even though we're focusing on the tornado here, where it's starting to knob back and forth with that comma and rotate, we're still going to get a lot of strong winds here, and I'm actually shocked they haven't extended that severe thunderstorm warning ahead of it. But right there through parts of Notasulga, it's about around you, and then even down here towards Little Texas, that is going to be some very strong winds. So about, let's see, just right around 2 a.m. Central Time for Auburn, Opelika about 7 minutes after that. So yeah, so very strong winds probably within the next, that's probably, let's do some math. What time is it now? It's 2:43. So probably about 20 minutes or so into parts of Auburn and Opelika. Beauregard, you're probably right there around just shortly after 2 Central as well, and even down here towards parts of Marvin. So you're going to be hit with this line down here towards the south, which is just some strong straight line winds flowing out. And speak of the devil, there is that new severe thunderstorm warning, including parts of Chambers, Lee, and down towards parts of Russell, and it probably extended all the way down, well, that's it, Macon, Lee, Russell, and Chambers through 2:45. That's for strong, gusty winds, 60 miles per hour. And that's what we're looking at outside of the tornado threat as well, which could spin up at any time. Okay.
The good news is it does look like part of the other line is starting to catch up a little bit. So hopefully that will absorb that rotation that we were seeing earlier. Let's go back to, velocity mode.
Okay, so you see this code right here on your screen. If you want to download the WRBL news app, and you can get some weather updates as well with this right there on your screen, just use that. Use your camera on your smartphone, snapshot that. You can download our app free, Google Play, Apple App Store, whichever device you have. But as you were saying, Brian, I think it is kind of weakening and it's kind of fell apart a little bit. We'll probably see in our next scan as we get past the radar here if that's actually the case. But right there, the leading edge of strong winds is already entering Lee County here, so that's going to be moving up into Auburn probably quicker than what we showed you right there around 2 o'clock. So probably within the next 5-10 minutes or so. So just before 2 o'clock Central Time is when you'll start to see that heavy rain lifting into parts of Auburn, even Opelika. So this will probably outpace the warning, which actually, well, it goes in for another 15 minutes. So we'll see what National Weather Service does, and maybe things are trending in the right way, but I don't want to be too hopeful because we are still early in the night, Brian.
Yeah, in fact, National Weather Service just sent out a chat letting folks know that they're seeing possibly another spin up trying to crank up just west of Notasulga. So, and that's probably where that bright red that you're seeing right there.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult because we're so close to that radar site.
Yeah.
But yeah, right there.
I would expect that to be it.
Yeah.
That's going to be embedded within the rain. So if you can visualize, that's the circulation, and that's the leading edge of the rain. So yeah, you're definitely not going to see anything. If you're in Notasulga, if you have a Notasulga address anywhere, take shelter. This is going to be moving into that area, northern Macon County, and then just crossing the county line there, quickly into Lochapoka. So if you have a Lochapoka address, take shelter as well. We're getting a lot of continuous lightning viewed at the Auburn camera that we're seeing, and you could see that leading edge of rain. That is going to be walloping the city of Auburn here probably within the next 10 minutes or so. So here's the leading edge, and then you have the circulation embedded behind it in rain. So very messy here, and this is not what we want to see. So it may actually still start to produce. So we went over the radar, which kind of gave us kind of blinded us a little bit because it went right over the radar, and now we're getting a better scan of seeing what it will do. Little Texas just got hit with rain as well. Go down towards the south, just south of that. So if you're in Hurtsboro, you're going to be seeing this line of heavy rain too, but really we're concentrating on this tornado threat because that's really what will likely bring down a lot of trees, maybe some structural damage. You could get some trees to fall with this line here as it pushes off. So you see through parts of half of Chambers County all the way down through half of Russell County. Let's do a track along the whole thing and see when this will get into Columbus.
Yes.
So do the squall line track, and we'll give the Columbus folks a heads up if they're waking up, if their weather radio went off for Russell County. They're probably saying, what is this? And we'll give them a little heads up on timing.
Let's see here. Here we go.
Perfect. There you go. So Columbus looks like 3:30. So we still got a little ways to go. We'll probably get hit with that trailing squall line that's kind of bowing out on the south side. But so Hurtsboro, Crawford, Ladonia, Seal, 165 that takes you down into parts of Fort Mitchell. You guys are probably going to be right there just before 3 o'clock Eastern. You can see Casita down here in Chattahoochee County, 349, and then on the tail end of it, Woodbury up in Meriwether County right there around 4 o'clock. So Geneva's probably right around 4 o'clock as well, and even down around Buena Vista. But you can see this segment's kind of moving more this way. So the tornado threat right here will probably move more this way. So that's what we're going to be watching as well. So this is that rotating comma head. That's where we're going to get those circulations out of. And let's zoom back in on that tornado warning and focus on Lee County and Auburn right now and try to pinpoint this circulation. They've kept it observed, but I don't think we actually have any debris on.
Yeah, unless there's something right up in there.
Yeah, I see the circulation. Maybe that is a little bit of debris right there just south of Notasulga. So I think you got it pinpointed correct.
That's about the only place that I would see if there's any debris. And that kind of lines up with where.
Yeah, so let's get really tight right there over Notasulga where that circulation is. So I think it'd be right back here. Okay, so yeah, that's Alabama 14 in Lee County, and that's Alabama 81 in Macon County. So it's approaching Alabama 81, Alabama 14. You could see the Beehive community over here, just on the Lee County side, Lee Road 137, across just south of the Beehive community, and then also up here into parts of Auburn. Auburn's technically not in the tornado warning, but I'd go ahead and seek shelter because this is our circulation here. Still not getting the best of scans, hopefully whenever it updates, and I don't see anything on that one. So
National Weather Service said the Maxwell radar did take a beating, but it's still spinning, so that's good news. Got to zoom out here just a little bit.
The radar
we'll go back
stays
to
up.
radar here because it seems like we're getting a little bit better return off the radar itself. But yeah, it looks like it may be probably just to the east of Notasulga, right up in this area is probably where we're looking for a possible tornado with this particular system. Again, probably just west of Lochapoka. So it looks like it will, the circulation in question will go north of the Auburn area. So that's good news there. But definitely got to watch out for when you get these bowing segments like that, that wind really pushes out. So places like Auburn, Opelika, Beauregard, even though you're not dealing with the circulation portion of the storm, you're going to be dealing with some very, very high winds. So make sure that you kind of stay where you're at. If you're driving out and about, maybe pull over and take cover until this particular line passes through. Once this line passes through, the severe weather threat will almost all be over. So that's great news. It is actually ahead of schedule. We had actually had it coming in around 3 o'clock, which it's 3 o'clock now, but we had it entering our East Alabama counties around 3 o'clock. So it's about an hour ahead of schedule, which I don't think you'll mind. The quicker we get this out of here, the quicker we can go back to bed, right? So again, here's your high winds. Here's your area of circulation that's in question that we're monitoring very, very closely. Just waiting to see if there's any updates from the National Weather Service out of Birmingham. Of course, keeping a close eye on this. Again, east of Notasulga, west of Lochapoka, actually just northwest of Lochapoka is where your circulation in question is going to be as it continues to move off to the northeast. It's moving very quickly, 50 miles per hour. So if you live places like Lochapoka, places north of Auburn, not going to have a whole lot of time, so go ahead and take cover just to be on the safe side. Cody?
That is great information there, Brian. What we're really focused on right now is these straight line winds and heavy wall of rain coming into parts of Auburn and Lee County. I don't think we're going to get in a continuation of this tornado warning just because I think it's fell apart a lot. It's kind of more occluded. Occluding means it's getting choked off from its energy source with that southerly wind here, but just a wall of rain and wind through parts of Waverly all the way right here on the edge of the warning, and you can see it's moving into parts of Auburn and down here through parts of just areas south of Auburn, South College Street, those areas. And the rain is coming. If we could take the Auburn camera, there you go. You can just see the rain is coming in, and this is you see the flags here. This is some strong gusty winds. We'll see what kind of wind gusts we get reported at the airport once it gets there, but this is some blinding rain. You're not going to be able to see anything. Hopefully you're just hunkered down at your home, but look at that. Can't see anything. We'll go back to the radar here. So that's what you're looking at. So that's the visual representation, nothing. And that's what we're seeing on the radar coming up into Auburn. So Opelika, you're going to be next, and I think they're not going to issue a tornado warning on the extension of this just because I think we don't have anything, but that... Yeah,
they said the circulation's falling apart, so they don't anticipate issuing a tornado warning further down the road.
But that linear edge right there is going to be causing some issues with causing some trees damaging with that damaging gust front that's coming through.
Yeah, because straight line winds could do just as much damage as a tornado. We're talking 60, 70, even upwards to 80 miles an hour in some of these stronger storms. So, just in case there's, just because there's not a tornado warning, you don't want to take these wind events lightly because they can cause almost as much damage as a low-end tornado. So keep that in mind. But again, right now, Good news is the circulation is falling apart for the most part, so we're dealing with just some straight line winds. But again, we're talking about a lot of straight line winds. So if you live places like Beauregard, Crawford, Smith Station, Opelika, Auburn, you're going to be seeing some really intense winds coming down the road here, coming down the pike. We'll throw the estimation on here shortly, but again, Smith Station, Crawford, Beauregard, Opelika, you're a little bit down the road, but it's coming your direction and it's not going to fall apart. So keep that in mind that you got some pretty damaging winds that are coming. So make sure you keep that in mind, and if you got time, you get outside and maybe put those trash cans off to the side of the house instead of there. So
yeah, that's yeah. Don't want to get all that loose stuff from blowing away if you do have the time over here where you got some extra time through parts of Lee County, Columbus. But it's really the wind threat, the straight line wind threat that we're watching now, moving through parts of Lee County, even entering parts of Russell County now. No warnings down here through parts of Bullock County, and somewhat some good news. We've kind of still had that wedge of cooler air entrenched most of the day. You remember through the afternoon, evening, it was still kind of foggy and really cloudy. So that's kind of will probably help us to some degree as that warm front's kind of lifted. We still haven't got all of that unstable air at the surface, but we still have that tornado watch through 9 o'clock on the Georgia side. Some rough times: Auburn 159, Hughley 225. Those are Central Time. Columbus 335, Casita, Georgia 351, Greenville 401, and then the city of Manchester 412 for this line segment. And it's actually moving rather quickly, and this will probably be out before we initially said somewhere around 8 or 9 o'clock. I think this is going to be out well before then, so that's some good news. Hopefully not waking too many folks up, but I'm pretty sure if you're in Auburn right now, you're hearing that heavy rain, torrential rain from just through parts of Chambers County, right there where we have the severe part of the warning. And you saw that they just issued a severe thunderstorm warning for southern Russell through parts of Barber, Bullock, and now into Pike County. So the whole line in East Alabama is warned for the potential for 60-mile-per-hour winds pushing off towards the east. So that is definitely what we're going to be watching. Tornado warning will drop off in a couple of minutes here. So if you're in Opelika now, Beauregard, some heavy straight-line winds down there through parts of, I believe that's Alabama 51, that takes you down into parts of Marvin. And we're looking at the Toomer's Corner camera. We have some intense rainfall falling there. You can see it. And we got somebody out and about. That's not good news. So hopefully they are not storm chasing, but hopefully they seek shelter soon with the winds just pushing that rain throughout the area. So we'll probably, we'll see how things trend over the next couple of minutes to see what we're going to do here. Let's see.
The good news is what we're doing is kind of looking along this line further south, and we don't see anything that poses a threat as far as maybe producing a spin up or anything of that nature. A lot of it is very linear. So we're just dealing with just a straight line wind situation here. So that's great news, really, because it could be a lot worse. Again, if you live places like Smith Station, Columbus, Fort Moore, anywhere east of this line, you're still in the, in that kind of that danger zone when it comes to straight line winds and things like that. And of course, we're going to continue to watch things. But right now, other than this warning that's getting ready to expire, we don't have anything else as far as outside of a severe thunderstorm warning, which is great news. But again, don't forget, those straight line winds can be pretty rough too, so they can be a strong. In fact, the tornado warning, it's gone now, so all we got now are severe thunderstorm warnings along that line. But again, those straight line winds can be just as damaging as a low end tornado.
Yes, they can, especially when we're seeing wind gusts about up to 60. Radar data suggesting just below that. But overall, coming in at the Auburn airport, not really seeing anything overly strong. Gust up around 30 at the moment. We could be seeing some higher gusts. They've let's see, I think they've reissued the severe thunderstorm warning for, let's see, maybe I have the wrong one. No, that's that new one. My bad. I'm over here reading. The warning for Chambers, Lee, and Russell goes another 44 minutes, so 3:45 Eastern time, 2:45 Central. And then the warning on the tail end of this goes an hour and 15 minutes, so 4:15 Eastern time. And what Brian is doing here, he's querying some of those wind gusts. You can see about 41. The Auburn Airport's situated right here between halfway through Auburn and Opelika. That's where we get the weather data, and it's only reported about 25 at the most. So we'll see if that upticks once this starts to clear through. So Beauregard, straight line wind, nothing of a tornado with this wind coming through those the community there in southern Lee County, right there around Alabama. Alabama 51, Highway 80 near the Marvin community, and then stretching back down into Hurtsboro. So it's this bowing segment, which we could still get some stronger gusts if we get those winds to lower on the backside of this. We get that jet to push those winds, so we could be seeing some higher gusts here with this bowing segment, but we're not seeing that at the moment. So that's also good news. And like you said, Brian, over here towards the Georgia side, nothing yet, but likely nothing stopping this system from moving into the city of Columbus here shortly.
And Cody, you mentioned this earlier. One of the things that really helped us is the fact that we were kind of that colder sector a little longer than what we expected today. Had we got on the warm side of that front, had that warm front lifted further north quicker in the day and left us warmer, I think we'd have been a little bit more primed for seeing some severe weather, things like that. But because of that shorter time period, being in the warmer sector, I think it's kind of alleviated our severe chances, even though we do have the severe thunderstorm warnings. As the line has moved further eastward, it has weakened somewhat.
Yes, that is a good point. Like you said, we didn't have a chance to really destabilize like the models wanted to indicate, and it was just all because of that wedge front that kind of just stayed across our area, even though we're starting to see those temperatures, you know, almost near 70 degrees right here just shortly after midnight a couple of hours ago. We still didn't really have the upper atmosphere to destabilize where we could really get primed for severe weather. So definitely on the better side of that, even though we did have a couple of tornado warnings produced in parts of Macon and even parts of Montgomery County, but we're not seeing any tornado threat right now as it moves through parts of now into Opelika. And if we could show this Tumors Corner camera again, just to show you how things change in what, 10 minutes. It's a lot better. It's just steady rain, and still got people out here driving at what, 2 o'clock in the morning in Auburn. I guess those are college kids. But you can see the winds are not as strong. The rain definitely not as blinding. Still got tremendous amounts of lightning here. So that just gives you a pinpoint of once you get past the initial surge of that line of wall of rain and heavy wind, things do start to improve a little bit. So once it moves through, severe weather threat is gone. So if you're over near the Beulah community, parts of the backwaters on the Lee County side, this is heading towards you guys with that straight line wind impacts even parts of Casita, Alabama, Valley, West Point, area south of Lafayette in Chambers County. That's where the severe thunderstorm warning. And if there was anything to spin, it would probably be on the northern fringe of that, but we're not seeing any in terms of tornadic activity as it is encountering some of that more stable air as it's pushing into parts of Chambers County. So that's some good news, but we'll continue to watch it. You know, everything can rapidly change. And then also down towards the south, nothing looks like too concerning south of Hurtsboro, pretty linear. We are seeing some showers firing up ahead of the line. And even down towards Enterprise, down through Ozark, pretty linear. It's just really this kink over here towards Auburn, which we'll continue to watch, kind of bowed out. I'm a little hesitant to get off, just because it's had a history.
Starting to see, it looks like maybe some small hail too, maybe just west of the Crawford area. One of the radar sites was, as we move around, it actually goes from one radar site to another. So that's why when we move around, sometimes it may look different. So
yeah, I see what you're saying.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, there is a little pink there, or purple, or whatever color.
And Storm Prediction Center did about 20-30 minutes ago released a discussion basically just reiterating, hey, the tornado threat is still there for east central Alabama, west central Georgia. So just keep that in mind. We still could have a spin up tornado or two, but right now the biggest threat is straight line damaging winds. So keep that in mind as we continue to watch this line move off to the east. Again, places like West Point, Valley, Crawford, Columbus, Fort Moore, you're going to be next in line. Lafayette, you're getting hit right now. So hopefully you're in your you're in your comfortable spot right now, and there's no warnings right now other than severe thunderstorm warnings. So that's great news. But again, we're going to continue to watch things as we go through the early morning hours. Severe thunderstorm warning for pretty much this whole line from our neck of the woods all the way south Alabama, southeast Alabama, all the way down Eufaula, down toward the Enterprise area. So everywhere on this line, you're dealing with some pretty good straight line winds, upwards of 60 miles an hour. Can't rule out some small hail. Just west of Crawford, could see some small hail there as it continues to track off to the east. Again, these storms moving pretty quickly, about 50 miles per hour east. Starting to see a little bit more purple show up here. Some more lightning too. And again, once you can see these kinks in these lines, this is where you kind of got to watch for those spin up tornadoes. So again, we're going to be continuing to watch things closely, along with our friends from the National Weather Service in Birmingham, who issues the warnings for Alabama. Peachtree City issues the warnings for the West Georgia area. So we'll continue to monitor that and that feed there as well to see if they see anything coming down the pike as far as our things that we should be concerned about. So again, we're going to continue to watch things. Right now, though, there's no tornado warnings to speak of.
Yes, and that's some good news. So since we don't have a tornado warning, Brian, we're just going to go streaming to WRBL.com. That's where you can find the radar. We're going to do some behind-the-scenes adjustments here, and if we do have to break in for another tornado warning, or if the winds start to get a little bit stronger, more like around 70 miles per hour, if any of those warnings get triggered over here towards Columbus, we'll do that. But for now, things are what we call behaving, even though we have some strong gusty winds moving through parts of East Alabama. So we'll send you back to regular programming. We are here if there is an urgency in weather, if it kind of goes downhill a little bit more. So for now, we'll go to regular scheduled program, and we'll be streaming our radar live on WRBL.com. Thank you. Have a great night.